I am just grabbing some extra crystals, although some of my favorite crystals are actually in my handbag from today because I was out. Hi, Doro. Just giving it a couple of seconds to see if anyone else is going to join the room. I was going to do a whole spiel about it being a Saturday evening, but you know what? This is my new normal. I'm not really a person that's out like that, so it's pretty much normal for me to be in on a Saturday evening. Hey, how are you doing? How's your day been? I just felt inspired to jump online, and I'm here like super authentic too. No makeup, no nothing. No eyeliner, nothing on my eyebrows. Um, I've had a good day. I spent some time during the afternoon with a good friend of mine and was like real heart to heart, proper conversation. And then I said to her on my way home, I just want to go home, get in bed, and watch a film. And I did that. I'm a huge sci-fi fan, and I watched the film Upgrade. I don't normally watch that film. Oh, what am I talking about? Um, I wasn't going to watch the film, is what I should say, because it just looked like it wasn't going to be that great. Oh, I'm not up late. I'm in London, UK, so it's like well, I don't even know what time it is to be honest, but it's not late. It must be before midnight, maybe even before 10. Let me check. Oh wow, I have no sense of time. It's like 11:30, but these days I'm not sleeping until 1 a.m. anyway, so I'm not tired. But yeah, I watched the film Upgrade, and I thought it was gonna be rubbish, to be honest. I watched the trailer and I thought it was going to be really low budget and cringy, but I really liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked the ending. I won't do spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched it. I'm not really online to talk about the film, and I could do that at other points because I'm a huge film fan. But so I watched the film, had a good evening, and I just felt inspired to jump online and like share tarot messages. I know I haven't been doing YouTube readings, and it was just on my heart, really. I was like, Spirit, I want to do a reading. I want to share it with the collective. And so here I am. I've already pulled 5 cards for us, and I'm just going to jump online, share these messages with you. I doubt I'll be online that long. And I'll leave it up for 24. I'll post it to my live, to my stories, sorry, so you can watch this after. So 5 cards I pulled. The first card for us is hey to everyone coming into the room. 5 of Swords. Definitely my energy today, and I posted something in my stories. I think a lot of people are kind of feeling this energy of conflict and discord. This is like, you know how people refer to like irreconcilable differences, but what I feel for us particularly is that some of these conflicts are felt internally, they're unspoken, but we're feeling like a lack of discord in our intimate personal relationships. So this isn't really, I'm feeling, about the general stuff. This is like relationships you really care about, so like relationships with your partner, your closest friends, your family members. I'm just feeling tension, feeling like a lack of agreement on things. And like I said, some of this is really unspoken. So for some of you, this energy might have come to a head and you may have had like an altercation. But for some of us, it's like more we're suffering through this kind of feeling, you know. And this can also be a fear. I posted on my Instagram stories that I felt like I just did not feel ready to safe the door of the conflict of the thing. And so this can be the fear that, you know, this is swords, communication. So it's the fear that if we speak our minds, we're honest about what we're feeling, if we say our needs truly to people we care about, it ends up like this, and we end up getting less than what we already have. We don't get emotional needs met. And so the next card is the Nine of Cups in reverse. So really this is indicating that it was a formerly happy situation, so it was something that you were feeling quite good about, a relationship you felt quite solid in, quite comfortable in, that was bringing you a lot of joy. You just felt giving or hospitable towards this person or this situation, and in reverse it's like it's turned upside down. So even in terms of your ability to emotionally give, this might be you withdrawing your emotional energy. This might be you feeling like I'm overextending myself. This might be feeling like I have a vision for happiness or you know, a vision for us to get along, or something that I want that this person's not seeing eye to eye with. But the next card is the King of Cups, and what it is saying is that we have like a strongly held pattern of belief, like a way of feeling, thinking, processing emotionally that's actually quite established. Okay, so this is kind of long-standing emotional habits, and they are the foundations of what we feel are being questioned at the moment. A lot of this has to do with the astrology right now, which is quite complex. But to sum it up, without going into the complexities of the astrology, definitely Venus retrograde in Scorpio is pulling out kind of these depths of the things that we thought were happy situations that actually had some underlying conflict, or the ways that we put up with conflict in order to keep a veneer of personal happiness. And therefore, this is really being emotionally stoic, this card here. This is about putting on the front, really, emotionally, and keeping the peace, even though, if you can see, the waters down here are very choppy. So feeling quite emotionally unsettled, upset internally, but externally presenting something else. But we have the Eight of Cups. So look how many Cups cards we've got. Like, it's an emotional time, okay? We've got the third Cup card in a row here. And this is the Eight of Cups, and it's like the first card that we've had upright in the Cups energy. And so this is encouraging us to move to a higher emotional ground, and also finding our personal power. Whenever I see this red cloak, keeping the peace but drowning, I feel you. Whenever I see this red cloak, it makes me think about taking personal power. And what I'm feeling from the energy of this reading really is that we're being asked to leave emotional dynamics and situations, but not leave as in abandon, cut or sever. It's literally to take some personal distance from. So like for me, as I shared, like not feeling safe enough to articulate my needs at the moment and how I'm really feeling, because my fear is that it will end up like this. And my highest self, like my highest expression, what I'm most able to do, what feels healthiest to me right now, is to step back and try to give myself what the emotional needs I'm really seeking and feeling are not being met by another person, right? So I'm like, for whatever reason, there's a lack of harmony here, and I'm not feeling emotionally seen, supported. I'm not feeling loved here, and I'm not able to correct or amend that, Libra season. I'm not able to make an adjustment in this relationship. So the best place that I can make an adjustment is internally, which is seeking to fill my own cup. And this is what this energy is really about. So it's asking you to walk away from, this is an 8 card, right? 8 being a karmic cycle. And for me, I can see how some of this energy is being repeated. I'm just going to see, I've been avoiding the conflicts in my family. I feel like I'm drowning, but the situation needs to be addressed. So stressful. It's coming to a head right now. But the energy right now, remember, Venus is also retrograding. So this is when we're really doing the introspective work rather than the extroverted, like, solving. And also, you know, Venus is, hey Taz, Venus is retrograde in Scorpio, and she's square Mars. So it's like, well, this retrograde period includes Venus square Mars, so it's like clashing, okay? It's like we're gonna get that frustration, those obstacles, like arguments, things come into a head. Like, that's what that energy is about. But it's not really about us finding, not yet anyway, like we haven't seen enough to be able to get towards the solutions that Libra energy wants. Because what Libra will do, and I'm talking about Libra only because we're in Libra season, but what Libra will do is, because we don't want to feel this, you will adjust yourself to accommodate a situation that's not in your best interest. And it's like Spirit's trying to get you to see the perspective in a different way so that you can find a completely new approach to your relationships and your emotional situations. And so this 8 of Cups here is asking you to take emotional distance, but not in the way that's ghosting, not in the way that's like closing down relationships or saying I'm not going to talk to you again. It's literally not requiring the solution from others right now, but turning inwards and really paying attention to your emotional patterns. So really paying attention to, what do I feel right now? what's causing that feeling, and how many times in my life have I revisited this emotion. So for me, it's like, how many times in my life have I felt like a conflict would lead to abandonment, like complete collapsing of a relationship, and how many times have I silenced myself because of that? Like, and it's actually acknowledging that tradition, that pattern of feeling and behavior. And the last card that we have, as we go on this journey towards like being more emotionally introspective and finding our personal power emotionally, is the Nine of Pentacles. This is Sun in Virgo. So it's like we came through Virgo season and we're being forced to learn Virgo lessons during this period. And the Nine of Pentacles is the self-worth, self-value card. And I said, like, this whole, well, for those of you who came to any of my webinars, and all the replays are available on my website, NicoleBlack.com/services. Oh, no, actually, it's not. It's /courses for my webinar. And you can see like day 1, day 2, day 3, where I talk about all the Venus retrograde energies. But the main thing that we're being asked to recognize right now is our self-worth and our self-value. So one of the messages that came through for me when I was like looking at these cards really briefly, I didn't spend much time meditating on them, like I wanted to do it live, is that this conflict that we're having, the discord that we're experiencing, the emotional unease that we have, feeling like we're pretending that everything's okay, or at least trying to keep the peace when we feel turbulence externally. It's like, it's not actually about this specific situation. Like, the whole experience you're having right now is to help you increase your sense of self-worth and self-value. And what I'm feeling is that a lot of what is causing us to feel this level of conflict comes from us not seeing ourselves in the positive enough light. So it's like, that's why I've been talking a lot about self-worth and really trying to get us to grapple with what that really means, because in the context of this reading, it's literally saying that you do not see yourself in the light of who you really are. You judge yourself too harshly, and you undervalue yourself in the context of other people. So part of the reason that you feel this conflict energy and you have this fear is because you don't see how valuable you are to others. You don't really see what you have to offer. And as long as you're not seeing that, then you can't create a reciprocal dynamic, right? You always adjust yourself at your own detriment. So it's like the energy right now is just really asking us to hold space for our emotional discomfort, hold space for how conflicted we feel right now, hold space for not feeling like we're getting our emotional needs met, and then using that as a basis to develop our true sense of self. So for some of you, it literally needs to be like affirmation work. And I'll be honest, as a Virgo, I'm not a huge fan of affirmations. Like, I like things to be really practical, and affirmations don't feel practical or grounded enough for me. But I know that they work for other people, so it can be like writing a list tonight of your best qualities, like writing a list of what you have to offer, like affirming yourself, affirming why you're valuable, affirming why you deserve relationships that last, affirming why you deserve to have your emotional needs met, affirming why you should be able to articulate your experience of people and your experience of the world. So it can be that kind of affirming work, but it can also be more kind of introspective soul work. Give me a second. I just want to feel what the messages that I'm trying to put across here from this card. What I feel is that it's also an adjustment. So like I said, like Libra is the energy of adjustment, and it's normally adjusting oneself to cooperate well with others. But the recalibration that you really need right now is to adjust yourself to be back at the center. So it's not about being selfish, but it's about centering yourself and your emotional needs and being responsive to yourself, like on a day-to-day basis, so that you're prioritizing like mentally constantly, what do I need in this moment, what makes me feel healthy and strong, what am I doing today that supports like my divine purpose, my goals, what I'm trying to create. And then you add everybody else into that, you know, like what does community mean in the context of that, how can I like give communally, like, but not before you respond to yourself. And so for me, like, very like, it's so simple that I was out and then I said, I just want to go home, get in bed and watch a film. And then I did that. Like, I did that. I gave myself this thing that I wanted. It was a form of like pleasure and care for myself. And then as a result of that, what was born out of that was my desire to come online and give, right? So I fed myself and then I can feed you. Like, and this is what we're supposed to be learning, is that some of this conflict we're experiencing is about not standing in our own garden and feeling stocked up and stacked and having like what we need available to us based on our own efforts, based on what we've cultivated, so that we feel less sensitive to the fear of abandonment, because we know that we've got what we need. And not just that we've got what we need, but also because where we're at is so plush, we can always bring and call towards us more of what we need. Because like, you know, one of the things, I moved my room around yesterday, and I'm really loving the new setup. It feels really good for me energy wise. But one of the things I love is to make a space really comfortable. Like, I just like a beautiful space, and I like people to come into my space and feel like, oh, it feels really peaceful, it feels really plush, you know. I feel that like energy, like love and energy has been put in here. And when you do that, like, people happy to come see you, right? Like, versus if there's no space and it's freezing cold. And do you know what I mean? Like, there are conditions in which people feel uncomfortable, and there are conditions in which people can feel more comfortable. But what I'm literally saying is, responding to your own emotional needs in this particular moment is how you create the conditions that are optimum for you, but are also comfortable for the people who resonate with you. So I'm going to pull a couple more cards while online, because lots of you said that you are experiencing conflict with people. So I'm just going to get a couple more messages about that conflict specifically. Okay, 3 cards. The Libra card came out. Wow, all swords. All swords. Oh, okay. I feel that kind of Venus-Mars energy in this as well. 7 of Swords in, you're welcome, Dora. Thank you for listening. 7 of Swords in reverse. What I feel from this is like, it's 2 things. Like, someone's not speaking their truth to you. So like the conflict is twofold. Part of why there's conflict is because you're not understanding their perspective, but they're not telling you, so there's no really way for you to. But also it's about your own fears and the way you silence. But with this card in reverse, what it's kind of saying is that this season that you're going through and these experiences that you're going through are breaking this particular pattern, this particular like pattern of like lies, of omission, not speaking your truth, avoiding situations, being willing to like just cut and run before you really give something like your time, your devotion, your dedication. So in terms of your conflicts, like there's almost a message of have faith that they will find resolution. But the resolution that you need here, Libra card, is the Queen of Swords. And this is like distant, objective kind of observation at the moment of yourself and the situation. So it's like, with this card, it's like it's not really the time yet to try to hash things out, because you're still putting together the pieces, particularly the internal pieces. So this is about almost not being swept up in the emotion, which can be difficult when you're having this kind of energy, when you know you're feeling, you know, unhappy, dissatisfied, and then you start to feel the depth of that unhappiness and how long you felt out you've not been true to your emotions, or emotionally feeling emotionally stable. It's easy, Cancer rising, so I know this, to feel swept in the emotions of things. But this card is saying to you, try not to let the intensity of the emotional experience or the intensity of the conflict let you govern and rule from there. It's like, take a step back. Yes, you feel all these things, and literally put this mind to work, like in terms of understanding, observing, and making a strategy of how to deal with that. And it will be different for all of you. In my heart, I would love to like sit here and give you all the strategies, but it's not feasible. On a one-to-one basis, like I could definitely kind of give you what I call guidance and recommendations about how you can, what specific things you can do over the next couple of weeks to realize this potential energy. But what I feel, there's two messages here, and this is why I said I felt like Mars energy. And I said to you, like, Venus is like retrograde in Scorpio square Mars. Like, it's this is really the picture of it. And it's like, for some of you, some of this conflict energy is going to keep coming at you, I'm going to be honest. And that's why you need to step out of the emotional difficulty of it right now. Find your safety and your security within yourself and take a more balanced observation of what's going on and not respond from that emotional space, because you're still going to get that harsher energy coming towards you. You're still going to get that criticism. You're still going to get people wanting to pull you into arguments. And you need to control your own space and your own boundary level there. And just a little clarifier, because I feel like there's two messages. Yes. Yes. The other message is that for those of you, so for some of you, you're going to continue to have to deal with this, and so you need to find that resolve. For others of you, this card is actually about, as you withdraw your energy, as you decide, I'm not willing to engage in this conflict, either in like language and communication or even in the emotional experience of it. Like, I'm not willing to be governed now and have my whole days shaped, you know, like I couldn't sleep last night based on my conflict, for example. But it's coming into that energy of, actually, I'm not willing to let this whole thing govern and shape me. As you withdraw your energy and focus it more on building up yourself, it will create some sort of space in which the person or people or situations where there's conflict are going to come towards you, not with more conflict, but we're actually with healing. And what I'm feeling here is that they're going to feel the gap and the distance. Like I said, it's not about ghosting people. It's not about being harsh in your withdrawal. It's about centering your withdrawal on loving yourself. And they will feel, you see, this is a person who's looking out at the distance. They will feel that you have left, right? And you've left to go to higher emotional ground. You've not left in a harsh way. You've just left in a way that's focused on yourself. And in so doing and feeling that distance, they're going to have a better sense of the greater, grander perspective of things. This is the Aquarius card here. So they're going to get a better sense of actually what's the highest good or the highest goal for everybody involved, rather than one person or another. And even if this experience for you isn't necessarily about what they say or do, you know, it's not about what they come back to you or do or don't. It's like this is really an energy that's going to come in, which is an energy for you to find more healing, more balance, and to move into alignment with your own life purpose and what you need to be doing, based on withdrawing your energies right now. You know, the retrograde periods aren't really times when we externalize. You know, this is really a time when we're like, anything that we're experiencing is asking us to really go deep and to dig deep. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up because you've been typing to me. Someone says the confrontations for me right now, not just menopausal, but every time I feel misunderstood and be thought of angry. Yeah, it's hard. There's like really intense energies, intense emotional upheaval at the moment. Aquarius energy in the star card, absolutely. That's probably what's happening with me, because I'm definitely keeping myself and looking out for myself. We need to right now. We really need to. And I think, like, we're often told like the healthiest response to things. It's funny because I don't think she's in the room anymore, but there is someone who was in the chat who sent me a private message about what I'd been saying, because, you know, she said that she doesn't think it's healthy to have those conflict conversations before you're emotionally ready to do that. And I do think there's some truth to that. And I think a lot of what we get taught or pushed towards is like, have that hard conversation, have that confrontation, and actually under some circumstances that can be quite damaging. So when I was in therapy, for example, one thing my therapist would always say to me is like, I know how much I'm ready to open to in terms of like digging deep and dealing with stuff. Like he was like, like, and he respected my boundary of, okay, I'm done here. Like this is as far as I'm willing to go right now. And I think it's the same, like on impulses to be like, oh, we have to solve this problem. Oh, the adult thing to do is to talk about it, to deal with it, to push yourself. But really, this Venus retrograde is like, no, not necessarily. Right now, it's about rewiring your internal self, rewiring your emotional self, and recentering yourself. Because to recap what I said before, some of the reason for this conflict is that you devalue yourself and that you don't understand how valuable you are. And you need a bit of distance, in order to really shine. It's hard to alienate the other person because I'm growing and they don't. Hard not to alienate the other person because I'm growing and they don't understand. I mean, it's hard. I was thinking about this before I came on the live. I was thinking about what it's like when you go for a spiritual awakening, or you're just growing at different rates to people, and the friendship starts to, or the relationship, whatever it is, starts to disconnect a bit. And like what you should do about that. And I was thinking about the advice that I gave on my last live, where I was saying, well, 2 lives ago actually, where I was just talking about not forcing those relationships. But then I was thinking today about the kind of concept of planting seeds. And it's like, it's okay to share where you're at and just allow people to organically grow at their rates. I just think some situations are toxic and harmful and we can't grow in, and it's fine for us to sever them. And at other times, I think it's okay to allow relationships to rest and breathe, and we don't have to be so all or nothing about things. We don't have to be like, well, it's not working right now, and so like I'm moving on to bigger and better, or you're not in alignment with me, goodbye. Do you know what I mean? Hey, I don't actually know how I should pronounce your name. Sci-fi. Oh, SCIFR. Good to have you in the room. I was just doing a tarot reading, but I'm going to post it up so everyone can watch it back. So yeah, it's just about not being really all or nothing about our relationships right now, and knowing that everything in this particular moment is asking us to respect our emotions and find the lessons that are about self-worth out of them. And that's everything. So unless I have any questions, and you're welcome to type them to me now, I am going to go. That was it. That's all I came online to share. Really nice. I think I really like being on Insta Live now. I need some water though, and I put it at a distance. Oh, thank you. So much love. It's pronounced just like Cypher. Good to know. Good. Yeah. Feel free, like allow disagreements to breathe, man. Allow conflicts to breathe. Well, I hope everyone has a really, really, really great night, and I will see you again soon. Mwah. Take care. Oh, I'm ending.